is Benjamin Okezie Kalu, representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the hallowed chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Uzita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Ben Kalu's mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Ben Kalu's mandate airs on Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real 99.1 FM every Tuesday by 10:30 a.m. Ben Kalu's mandate, gains of quality representation. Yes, it's another time on radio, of course, where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Of course, that's the House of Representatives, the lower chamber of the 9th National Assembly. Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu is also the chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity. He's the spokesperson of the House. Bridging the gap between the Parliament and the people is the program Ben Kalu's mandate. This program is on Flow 94.9 FM, Real 99.9 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM, ABN Online Radio and TV, and also Real Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM. My name is Michael Oni. Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu is joining us virtually today. Glad to have you join us, and happy new month to you.
Thank you very much, Mike, for today. And Abians, thank you for tuning in. I wish you all the best. The month is already looking beautiful, and I pray that we'll have abundance and prosperity this year. Let us keep believing that they are for us. Let us pray for our leaders, pray for the land. For the Bible says, in the peace we shall have peace.
All right, thank you very great. So I was saying happy new month to you just before the network had issues.
Thank you, Michael. Always a pleasure to be here, and to thank Abians and especially Bende people. Happy new month to all of you. This is month, and I pray that God will peace and prosperity in this month of all good, and I am praying it to be better. It is also my prayer for those who are in leadership position. We pray, the Bible says, in the peace of that land have peace. I'm happy to be here and a very interactive section again today.
All right.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Thank you very much. As usual, let's quickly start with your scorecard. That was last week. The mid-term scorecard for National Assembly members, especially those in Abia State, was released by Order Paper. And you led, talking about the number of bills sponsored by lawmakers in the House of Representatives from Abia State. You led with a total of 41 bills. One will be asking, how did you achieve this feat, being a first-timer in the House? You've spent just 2 years and you've sponsored 41 bills, leading some other lawmakers that have been in the House even before yourself.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say competition. We are not competing with any. We have seasoned lawmakers, Abia State, who are doing very well in the House. So I don't want us to see it in a comparative analysis. I would like us to see it as the fulfillment the constitutional provision, and also we live in politicians profess something different. Their campaign into the position, something else flew out, on the roadmap that they put together. For me, if you grab a copy, I mentioned my area, legislative interests from the, and I had reasons for that. It is important to note that of the 1999 Constitution to make laws for the Federal Republic of, this is perhaps the most important legislature, and one which I take very, and as I mentioned to you, map in my manifesto identified certain economic, socio-economic sectors of intervention. And some of which you will see I was interested in my manifesto on education, MSMEs, voting rights, finance. Yes, also the over 40 through aviation, environment, constitution reforms, drugs and narcotics, entrepreneurship, federal character, finance and investment, foreign affairs, health, intellectual property, justice, national planning, oil and gas, tax, and if you break it down further, you find out that the following sectors tend to be impacted the most by my bills. In finance, I had 7 bills. And then if you go to education, I have 4 bills there. If you go to amendment, you have about 3 or more bills there. You go to justice, you have 3 bills. You go to commerce, you have about. Then if you go to investment, you have 2 bills. You will find out that I am not with regards to health, because in my manifesto, health happened to be one. So voting rights, I'm not pushing more there. The reason being, seeing other bills that represents what I intended, and there's no need of pushing out bills being captured by other legislative intervention by another member. So when I do an appraisal and I see there is a gap, that is where I bring up my own. But if there's no gap, there's no need to become superfluous with what you want to push out there in the name of just having bills out there. Actually, my interest is not in the quantity of bills. I am more interested in quality bills over quantity. Quality output must not be sacrificed on the altar of quantity in the bid to churn out a higher number of bills. I've had to reject and also withdraw bills, like I just mentioned, that did not fit my personal manifesto. It is important that the legislator is guided by an overarching nationalistic goal.
Okay.
That should be the prompting force. Every legislator should be guided by what I considered the legislative agenda of the House. And if your bills does not represent personal manifesto and also the legislative agenda of the House, you're on the frolic of your own. You're just speaking and throwing in. In the current dynamics of Nigeria, with inflation at 17.93%, Nigeria is struggling to recover from crippling effect of COVID-19. A health system where out of pocket we speak now 76%. A war and moving away from fossil fuel. The country's legitimacy being challenged in certain quarters, as you know. Legislative focus of parliamentarians should be to stabilize the economy and to empower these SMEs which have accounted for 80% of employment and 50% of our GDP. Not about just making bills. The bills must relate to our current realities.
Okay.
To strengthen our health system as it is now, ensuring health care for the rural population where I come from. I was born in the village. I schooled in the village, so I understand the challenges of healthcare system in the rural area. European Union have fossil fuel. I'm sure you know that from 2035, and the rest of the world is rapidly going green. It's time for us to use legislative intervention to prepare Nigeria for a future where that is desired by the world. This entails that we go green and also rapidly diversify our economy, and you cannot achieve that without putting legislation in place that will, stimulate this outcome that we are expecting. We must also approach matters of constitutional reform with severity in the face of increasing agitation for self-actualization in some parts of the country. This includes reducing the number of items on the exclusive list. Like I made an effort recently to push out prisons from the current list to enable the participation of state governments. That will empower the state governments, to be able to take some responsibility and also enjoy some rights. You can achieve this only through laws. And sincere attempts to inch towards system of government is what we should be looking through the bills that we propose. In this second half of my tenure, these areas I've identified will inform my legislative intervention. Not about churning out big number of bills, it's about my legislative interests, But having said that, it is important also that the yardstick for measuring legislative performance should not only be on bill proposal. As I mentioned earlier, legislators should be guided by their personal manifestos. In certain cases, it appears that representing the needs of legislators' constituents is a priority to that legislator. I have some legislators who are not doing bills, but they are impacting their communities. And this should also be used as a yardstick to measure the performance of legislators. To just measure the performance of legislators on the number of bills that they have proposed is unfair to those legislators. I have some people in Abia State who are doing tremendously well in their various locations for their constituents, irrespective of their low number of bills. So when we want to measure, we should, pay attention to that. So I challenge, various civil society organizations who are doing all this comparative analysis, data capturing. I challenge them and as well as encourage them to track performance of legislators by looking at various indices. For example, how much of oversight participation did the lawmaker, carry out in a particular time? Plenary attendance. How many times did he come to plenary and participate in debates? It doesn't have to be bill; it could be motion. Another indices they should look at is constituency projects. Are they impacting on lives? Is it something that people can feel and touch? And also, we have, the backbone of the parliament is in the committees. The activities is not just in the plenary that you see us go in and debate. The real work is at the committee level. And there are so many people from Abia State who you may not see during plenary, but they are busy at the committee level, churning out beautiful things that will help the National Assembly achieve her goals. So that should be used also as a yardstick for measuring, the performance of legislators. Having said that, it is important to give Bende people and Abia people and also Nigerians how we have fared, in our bill progression from June 11, 2019 to June 10, 2021. And we have the first section, we introduced 853, and awaiting second reading are 638 bills. And then committee referral, which bills that has gone to the committee, they are 105. And then awaiting consideration are 66. And then the ones that have been passed are 41. And some were negative because the House said no, and it was 1. And then 2 were withdrawn. That is the first section. Then we have the second section, which was the second legislative year. That year that just passed, we 154 bills introduced, and the number awaiting moment are 942, and then we have of 222, and we have awaiting consideration, and we have passed 47 bills with bills, and none was withdrawn. So in total, we have introduced 1,488 of these bills have passed through. We said no to 4, and we withdrew 2. So this is how we have performed with regards to I said. Constituents should not just be judging their representative only on the number of bills. The other in consideration while trying to gauge or measure or weight of your legislators. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Benjamin Kalu, I'm happy that you've listed some other indices that constituents should use in judging their lawmakers. But one will be asking, in the list you highlighted this hour on Ben Kalu's mandate, you didn't mention some of those responsibilities that lawmakers do engage in, which are meant for the executive. Should we also judge the lawmakers? Because when we see maybe lawmaker A sharing motorcycles, tricycles, and lawmaker B is not doing same, should the constituents rather ask questions?
You see, shared attracted dividends of democracies. Well, it could either come from your project that you chose to share, or you chose to do training for your constituents, or you chose to a health center, or provide medication, or farm implement another. Another way it could come is you position yourself to various committees. There are certain things, ministries or MDAs, intervention that's supposed to trickle down to the constituents. And when you position yourself, you as a member have the right to request that while distributing this thing across the country, you should consider bending. So if they are sharing it, you push for them to put bending. That way you bring it down. It does not mean that that falls under representative. The more you bring it for your people, mean if you don't have it, you're not performing well. But you should push for it. That you'll be everywhere. You look for opportunities. You move around. You make friends. You make connections. You network to be able to know what is happening around, and then how to attract it to the people. You will see a book that will be coming out soon on what is expected legislator and how a legislator should work hard to be able to impact on in a maximum way.
Okay, so and finally, just before we go for a break now on the program, maybe you should enlighten Abians on this well-known constituency allowance, because when they talk, they will say our lawmakers, they receive constituency allowance, and yet we are not seeing anything. Maybe you should enlighten Abians what they should know, and is there anything like constituency allowance?
Yeah, the constituency allowance is money provided for the running of your office, and the office includes your not constituency, it's constituency projects. Okay. The allowance is for you to run your office here in Abuja and also there in Bende, or depending on where your constituency is. You must have a functional office that you pay for or you build. In my case, I rented a property along Kalu'S Road. I rented the full property with ground floor and upstairs. It includes the money you use in furnishing it. It includes the money you keep aside to pay for people who will be coming in there to help in one service or the other. It includes also the money. From there, you spend money on stationaries, both in your office here and outside. It's from there you hire people outside the normal 5 workers given to you by the National Assembly. If you want to perform better, you could put some people on your payroll to be able to give you the right advice, the right research, the right information. And it is from there you do all that. It is also from there you help people. Some people say, my child is in the hospital, my child need to pay school fees and all the rest. So it is from there you try to see how you can balance, providing solution to the needs of your people. But it's never enough, because the number of calls we get, they are higher than the number of calls that go to any other arm of government. Judges and executives. Executives, you hardly see them. You don't expect my constituents to be calling the governor. The governor will not even pick. His phone will not be available. It had to pass through so many places to get to him. The same thing with the chief judge of the state. You can't just call him like that. He's busy. He's doing some things in court. So who is the one they run to? They run to the representative. So if you have an open door policy, you find out that sometimes they come to your house, they eat. Sometimes you pay for their transport, you pay for fuel, you do all those just to make them feel the impact of you being available and being their representative. And to be honest, it makes them feel relaxed. It makes them feel they believe in democracy. It makes them believe more in democracy, that somebody they elected is there for them when they need them. But is it enough? It's not enough. It's never enough, I'm telling you. Oftentimes, members of the House of Representatives end up using personal funds to support the demands from their various constituents. And it's a sacrifice we make. People think, when I was outside the parliament, I used to think, they have access to so much funds. And I used to query, why are they not releasing it as they're supposed to? But when I came in now and I saw that they don't have access, if you want to do the right thing, if you want to build project for your people, if you don't want to influence the contractor, you have no business having money in your pockets from this particular position. As a businessman, I came in here as a businessman. I can tell you, and you can take my words to the bank, I am poorer now than the time I came in. Because people expect more now. If you are running a personal business, any little profit you make is for you and your family. But now it is believed that from this position that you should take, be a universal donor. you just became a universal donor. You must take care of everybody's problem. But even Jesus did not take care of everybody's problem. Muhammad did not take care of everybody's problem. So you can only try your best. You may not satisfy everybody. Some people will still be angry. Some people will still go extra mile to make sure they show you some level of wickedness, even though when you don't deserve it. But we'll keep trying. That is the price of leadership. So that is it.
All right, we've been speaking with Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu. He's the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, and he represents Bende Federal Constituency. And this is the weekly engagement of the lawmaker with the good people of Abia State on several radio stations in Abia State. Okay, let me take this, then we go for the break. The issue of lobbying. During our conversation and our engagement with you on this platform, you keep mentioning lobbying. How much has that impacted your success in getting 41 bills and some of those dividends of democracy you've attracted for the good people of Abia State? And is it compulsory for lawmakers to lobby?
Honestly, it's a tool. It's a tool that is it's a legislative tool. Actually, we don't. You have to win people over to your arguments. You have to get people on the side of your debate, and for you to do that, you need to keep advancing, the strong points of your debate, and that you do through approaching them, being friendly. If you come to the house and you are arrogant, the people will distance themselves from you. If you come to the house and you are dishonest, people will distance themselves from you. If you come and want to prove to them that you have arrived in life before coming here, people will not be able to partner with you. You make yourself friendly by warming up to people and supporting them when they have bills. For example, you have a friend who has a proposal that he's been living without a primary health care system in their place, and they need a health center or something need a teaching hospital, or they need a federal medical center, and he has an opinion, and you look at it, and instead of supporting him, you turn your face what he's proposing for his people. Tomorrow he will not support you. So what I do is to make sure members who have a credible proposition before the parliament that will help their people in their constituency, I support them. I support them because actually to help the executive know how of the nation to solving the problem of the common citizens of this country. So when your own time comes, they'll say, oh, Ben supported us when we were doing this. We also in this particular aspect of bill proposal. Then you will find out that you have less nays than yeas. Yeah. So what we do is we move to members one, from one to the other. You visit their offices, you go and meet with them, you sit with them in chamber, you try to convince them to come. Some will say yes, some will say no. But you keep pushing to have more yes than no. So it's a lot of work. That is why you don't really need distraction in doing this job, because a lot of energy, how beautiful your bill is, and how your researchers and yourself have been able to package it. It must pass through affirmation of members. If you don't win the members over, it will die with you. So we love it. That's on bills. Then on projects also. If you are nice to your and not be everywhere at the same time, they will see opportunities and you'll be one of the first people that will share it. Oh, we have seen this here. I hope your constituents are also benefiting from this. But if you run a solo operation where you are the god of your own territory and you stay in your office, you will not see those opportunities. A lot will elude you because you carry yourself maybe in an aristocratic manner and nobody talks to you. You are the king who open opportunities to you. And at the end of the day, who suffers? Your constituent. So my approach, which has helped, I reach out to the House of Rep members and beyond that. Also making sure that the leadership sees the needs of you, lobby them and make sure they're on the same page with you. And also you go beyond that to speak to them to make sure that when they propose their budget, problem becomes one of the things they include in their budget, which will come back approval, and then you go back to your members and say, please help me approve this because so this is how it goes. It's through motions, through bill. You need people. The people element is a strong factor if you're going to be successful of the House of Representatives.
All right, we've been speaking about the business of lawmaking on Ben Kalu'S mandate, especially as we look at the midterm National Assembly scorecard, talking about the House of Representatives, where Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu led after the 2 years in the National Assembly, talking about the House of Representatives with 41 bill, although he's cautioning that we shouldn't use only this sponsoring of bills as the indices to look at the scorecard, of course. Anyways, we take a break now. When we return, we talk politics. Of course, we look deeper into the World Congresses that took place over the weekend. That was on Saturday right here in Abia State. It went across the board, in the country, but the one that took place in Abia State, there were issues, there were controversies. We look at that and the position of Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu. Stay tuned.
Is Benjamin Okezie Kalu, representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the hallowed chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Ozita, and Bende. Bende. Mr. Speaker, I
He's a
stand
committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Ben Kalu's mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Ben Kalu's mandate airs on Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real 99.1 FM every Tuesday by 10:30 a.m. Ben Kalu's mandate. Gains of quality representation.
All right, thank you very much for staying tuned. It is still the first edition of the program Ben Kalu's Mandate on radio for the month of August. Of course, the program runs on several radio stations in Abia State, Flow FM, Vision Africa Radio, Love FM, ABN Online Radio and TV, and also Real FM in Aba. And we've been speaking with Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu, looking at the National Assembly scorecard, especially the House of Representatives, and of course he spoke extensively on that. He's the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, especially his representation for the good people of Bende Federal Constituency, leading in terms of bills sponsored for the midterm in the House of Representatives, talking about 41 bills. Now let's move to politics, but quickly, Representative Benjamin Kalu, before we move to politics, I forgot to ask you this concerning the lobbying. Is the political party that a particular lawmaker belongs, does it have a role to play in terms of lobbying?
No, actually, when we arrive the parliament, the colors of the party actually dissolves. You see somebody who is the every member of the National Assembly. It's all about how you carry yourself. Voting, if it is issue that has political interests, like the electoral bill, like parties will take positions as advised by their various political groups. But on national parliaments meet, we don't meet alongside the colors of our parties. We gather for nationalistic interests. How do we use our patriotism for the nation to build a nation that we all will be proud of? So it's not about your party. It's about to move around, because you see members of APC supporting bills from PDP and other parties, and you see members of PDP also supporting bills from for me, I approach both. I don't just approach APC alone. I approach PDP because it's not it's the impact I want to get for my people that matters, and the people I'm fighting for. Some are members of PDP, some are members of ABGA, some are members of. The benefit will be shared by all people, including those who are not political party members. So, why differentiate between along party lines? For me, it doesn't play a role.
Okay, so let's talk about the World Congress. Are you satisfied with the outcome? I know there was a meeting that was on Thursday. Someone was suspended, and of course, so much controversies, especially the World Congress that took place in Abia State. After that Congress, we heard so much in the media. We would like to get your official position concerning the conduct of the APC World Congress that took place in Abia State on Saturday.
I think the party addressed that. Since I'm not the publicity secretary of the party, we have elected members of the executive council in the state who has been made a caretaker committee at the moment, like any other state across the country, including national office of our country. We are the people in the best position to, respond to issues of this nature. But all I know is in my ward, we don't have any election for. We do what the party asks us to do census, and because we have very mature leaders in Bende Federal Constituency, they were able to like Azubuku, the likes of Chief Justice Sunday Imo retired, the likes of so many great minds who came together to agree on those that will govern their party at their very local wards. We did not interfere. I can assure you, Dr. Jekalo, who is the overall leader of our area, and myself, who is the leader of caucus, did not put a single name on the list. All we asked the people to do, go choose those who will represent you. And the truth remains, it's about the people. Politics is about the people. If you make 10 lists for APC in Bende, you see have the same people reappearing because there must be people who are worthy and who will be able to represent us. So we are not bothered with whatever will be the final the Congress. But I will allow the party, when they speak to you, to address the issue of the Congress. It's within their office to do so.
All right, let's move away from politics then and talk about your representation. And finally, we talk about a particular court case that affects you directly as a person. But let's look at how far you've done in terms of employment for Bende constituents, maybe influencing and getting people from Bende employed. And also, how far have you gone in terms of projects? Very important. You also spoke about it, that it should be one of the indices that constituents should use in judging the performance of their lawmakers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike Aoni. I don't know. I don't want it to sound like we are blowing our own trumpets, but we actually came here to work. And it's not about self, it's about the people, because my people are in need. My people are really suffering. And so all I have done is to, work very hard to make an impact. I may not solve all the problems, but let it be said that when I came here, a couple of things, more than how it used to be. Employment has been one of the things I've been fighting for my people, and I can tell you that we have been able to get jobs for people in Central Bank. As we speak now, we have somebody from Ibere, from Umisi in Ibere, a young lady named Ibere. I don't want to mention the surname on radio, but from Umisi, who has gotten a job in Central Bank of Nigeria. We also have another one that I won't mention the surname, from Bende. Emmanuel is the first name I will mention, the son, who has also gotten a job in the central bank. And it was through our strategic positioning that we also push for them to, have access to the kind of qualification that the central bank is looking for them to. When you open opportunity for people who are prepared, they will be able to embrace it. As we speak now, we have somebody from Itumbuzo who is also in Natural Agricultural Seeds Council, who has gotten a job there as well. We have somebody who has gotten also a job in Niger Delta Development Commission. And we have somebody again who has started work at the Public Complaint Commission, and she's from Eton. We have a couple of people who have gotten jobs at federal medical centers across the country. Medical doctors and other medical service providers who have gotten jobs. We have another young man from Ibere who made a first class in engineering. He's currently working at Nigerian Maritime University. We got him that job. We also got him a job for some people in federal fire services. as well. And the Nigerian federal universities, we've gotten about 6 to 7 people jobs there. And we're talking about the lecturers. We've also gotten jobs for lab scientists, medical officers, admin officers, assistant admin officers, assistant fire. And as we speak, few that I've seen, especially in the health. But our problem is that the places towards the north. So we had to make sure we position more people. It's everything on the radio, but we're trying the people in breast. And what is that we every month we do letters, letters, recommendation letters, jobs, they come to us. We don't charge letters. We don't make it difficult such letters as you it's and you've done your course online, and we find out that there's an office attached to job where need be. We make phone calls. Our people get their job. Employment, because the not just empowerment, like and all that matter. Teaching people how to fish and giving them a lasting source of revenue, job opportunities. We keep looking for more, and by the grace for our people. On projects, doing badly as well, although there is still do more. The land bar axis project done any moment from now. I've gone to solar power grid that is it's not doing badly. I have taught few of in the schools. We'll continue of this month because we want pre-commissioning tour project. I'm happy that I've gotten their water, and at that stage it took a long walk to get it, and it will be around our line, and they move back to happy they're looking positive, various other and some of the ones we are waiting for them. It's a general problem, it's not just for them. Tumbos or road, we are continuing Obereni roads and some roads in it, documented. AK is coming up, and so once the funding is out, we put to announce that the road that runs from the way to half year, which I said for 12 billion, started putting their beacons. People were wanting to do it, and when are they not going to do it? The beacon. I was happy to see the beacons by government at the moment, and surprised that even my own fence might be in the course of constructing that. Doesn't matter as long as at the end of the day we are able to get our people. So that is it about project.
All right.
Is Benjamin Okeze Kalu, representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the Kalu'S chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Ozita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Ben Kalu's mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Ben Kalu's mandate airs on Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real 99.1 FM every Tuesday by 10:30 a.m. Ben Kalu's mandate. Gains of quality representation.
All right, it is still Ben Kalu'S mandate. Let's take the final question, and we throw the lines open today on the program. It's about a court case involving you, although we have to be very careful so that it won't lead to sub judice contempt. But I would like you to address this because it says your supporters, your fans, and your constituents are worried. The High Court sitting in Umuahia adjourned till tomorrow, 4th of August. The case bordering on primary and secondary schools certificate forgery brought against you by a chieftain of your party. And I would like you to address that. Should they worry?
Thank you. No, Michael. You know the provision of the law is subjudicial to begin to discuss issues that are before the courts. It has been before the court for a very long time. It's only that people are hearing about it now. It started after the election,
That's in 2019.
I won the election. Yeah, I won the election. Went through tribunal 1, went through appeal 1, and the same opponent of mine, we have him on tape, where he was discussing on terms for this constituent of mine who actually wanted to contest for House of Assembly. At the time, he wanted to be a candidate by all means, and it's not in my hand. And he believed it was in my hand to make him a candidate of the party for House of Assembly. But as you know, congresses are done by the people, and they chose the former deputy minority leader of the House, Solomon Alkobo, in place of him and other people. And he became very angry and told me he was going to deal with me. So dealing with me is going to court with pre-election matter on my change of name. It is my right to change my name. It is my right. If the law did not say you should not change your name, and all the processes we have followed, So to say I did not go to central school and secondary school is very laughable, because I didn't go to school in Toronto. I went to school in Bendon, and I'm not too old that my teachers have all died. My teachers are there, and they are listening to this program, and some of them have called me as well. I went to Bender Central School, and with a stepfather that wanted me to answer his name at that point. So when I grew up, I said, no, I can't bear your name. I have to bear my own father's name. And I changed all my document to my father's name. And that is what it is, and it's contested it. Right. It had been gazetted, both here in Nigeria and also in the country I lived in before. They were notified and it was gazetted. And the Supreme Court also acknowledged it when I was called to bar. When I came back to the country to be called to bar, the Supreme Court listed me on the roll as Benjamin Okete Kalu. But when I was in the university, I was answering Osisiok. So my circumstance is of such that I decided to have my biological father's name, and that is what I'm having now. And all the processes were followed. So secondary school was in Bender Central School, Bender Secondary Grammar School for first 2 years, and then I went to Wilcox, Aba, to complete my secondary school. And my colleagues are alive, and they are listening to this program, and they saw that I was an intelligent student when I was at school. I wasn't a dullard, and they are still my friends till date. My teachers are still there. So, but it's a distraction that has been sponsored by my opponent. They need to know that we know who is funding it. My opponent has refused to give up that he lost election. I lost election 2 times, and I didn't take my opponent to court, Honorable Nenu KJ. I did not take her to court. First time, second time. The spirit of sportsmanship, you see, when you lose, you wait and you gather experience. And I thank God that I was able to wait and I was able to gather experience. And that is why what I could have achieved in donkey years in the parliament, I'm achieving in 2 years. And the speed that God is giving to what I'm achieving is just to compensate for the time I patiently waited. So my advice to them is to wait. If you don't get it in primary election, wait. You will see that in my book, my experiences, wait and gather more experience. Learn from those leaders. You see all these people you see and you neglect and you want to bully. These leaders have a wealth of experience. When you go close to them, you learn a lot. But by the time the opportunity is now given to you, you'll be able to accept, because I won't be here for too long. If you want me to be a House of Rep member forever, then it is, you're underdeveloping me. I want to go from one level to the other or join my business, go back to my business. So, but we should leave it for the court to discuss. I will not want this to be something that will be a dragon. If the process was followed, the court will find that out. If the process was not followed, the court. But I remain one and the same person that changed his name. I changed my name to the name I'm having now, and I'm happy I changed to my biological father's name, and I have no regrets. And let the court take their decision. Right. But do I sound like somebody who didn't go to primary school or secondary school? Is it not laughable for somebody to say I didn't go to primary school?
We need to get.
I forged that man.
We need to get reactions.
All right, so let's take the questions
from the listener, and also both reactions on the phone lines and also the SMS line 0808 182 6949 or 0811-605-2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. It's Ben Kalu's mandate, weekly engagement of Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu with the good people of Abia State. Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes, go on with your name.
Ambassador Kenneth Seneca. I'm very much happy that results somebody.
Can you change your location so that we can have a smooth conversation, please?
Okay. Hello?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. In 2 years, the office and the bill is higher. So I'm please next
Ambassador, if you can call back, we're finding it difficult.
I can hear.
Have a smooth conversation with you. Yes, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hello, Mike.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. It's Reverend Moses from Ituvoma, Imo State. Good morning, Honorable Rep Member.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, I always want to ask a question on general issues since I'm an Imorite. Number one, how many years should a rep member or senate member stay there before he can begin to work in his constituency? Number two, please, Honorable, what is the federal government doing concerning the biting inflation in Nigeria now? Things are too hard. We are really highly suffering.
All right. Thank you. Let's allow others. You can ask 3 questions. Hello. Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Yeah, Mike. Good morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Honorable Representative. Good morning, sir. Yeah, this is Martin. I'm calling from Umuahia.
Go on.
Yeah, in as much as I appreciate the Honorable Representative there for all that he has been doing for his constituents, I know he's a man of his word. He has always been trying his best to do the best he can to see that his people feel his impact as their representative. But I want to disagree with him in total on when he said that he is now poorer than he used to be. He was thinking the notion he had before he went into the House of Assembly, House of Representatives. When he got there, what he saw was different from the notion he was having. I think that's a big lie, because come 2023, all of them will spend a huge amount of money, even more than the one they spent in the past, to get back to Abuja. If that place is really making you poorer, why spend a whole lot of money to go back there? That's my take this
All right.
afternoon or this morning.
All right, he's going to respond to that. Let's run through the messages so that he can reply. We have less than 3 minutes. Okay. Sir, your performance refutes any issue of forged certificate. Dr. Emmanuel Ekwekwe from Ozuite. This one is complaining about our network. Okay, we are going to work on that. Sonny from Umuahia. This one says, Honorable Sir, don't you think that if the House outlaws governors owing workers and retirees beyond 3 months will help reduce the pressure on lawmakers? Because some of them are workers, retirees who don't receive what is due to them. From Ben. All right, Honorable.
Thank you very much. I didn't hear what Ambassador was saying in contribution. But the other person said, how many years do we need to stay for our constituents? Actually, office, you push for it's the first budget of you always fight to make sure that people included there. You start working from the consulting the owners of the constituent in needs analysis. Take that so that the first budget that you push where the work starts, and also you nominate the needs of their people to be done. And then the second person, my brother who commented that is a big lie that during the election that rather than it's not about money. If it is about money, it's not in the House of Representatives. Chief office might maybe give you more. With the needs that we have, brother, I am telling you, and you can take my word, a child of God, I can tell in my business than the time I spend. That is the truth. The time I to do all these bills, run around for projects. The time I invest, if I invest that business, I make more money from that because I was, and I can assure you that I'm private life than the public, and it should be like that to be in politics. If you don't have a second, politics is not for you. It's 5 minutes. Let me answer that, please. I need to extend it. Tell you director to do that. Now, on outlaws, governors, that governors should not owe. It is not within it is not with to go into the state government. But I see, and I think we'll take it back to the researchers and let's look. If there's a way we can fine tune station that will secure the citizens at the state level. I see that as it is the duty of the states to be and things with regards to their workers. And I didn't get a clear question that someone raised on federal government. Get it clearly. Maybe next we'll be able to engage more on such issues. So yeah, I repeat again before I round up. Members who want to, politicians must have a second address. If you don't have a second address, you have no business being in politics. If you are counting on the money that is found in the office, I can assure you, you'll be disappointed because the needs that will take it and also take the one in your pocket.
All right.
It should always be about the people, about projects, about it should be. Thank you very much.
We do appreciate you, and some of these issues, I believe we're still going to address them in the next edition of the program for the month of August.
Yeah.
We do appreciate you, Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu, for joining us this hour on Ben Kalu's mandate. Thank you very much, especially for being close to your people, of course. It is bridging the gap between Parliament and the people. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, and God bless you, Abia people, for tuning in. And Ben, the people most especially appreciate you being so concerned with this program. We'll always be here to update you on the issue that is before the court. Please allow the lawyers and the judge to do their job. They know truth and get it out. Nobody should be worried about it. So this one also, we will also win. God being on our side.
All right, thank you for joining us. All right, that's it. That's the size of our package for the first edition of the program Ben Kalu's Mandate for a new month, the month of August. Join us next week for another edition. My name is Michael Oni.